Shomit Chatterjee. Today I am going to discuss on random variable and distribution function in probability theory. In my previous classes, I already discussed on random experiment, sample point, event space, sample space, etc. There we see that for each on a random experiment, the event or the sample space contain two types of values. One is called numerical, another one is non-numerical value or descriptive. As for example, suppose tossing a coin, the output, the possible outcomes becomes head and tail. So these are the events of non-numerical value. Whereas if you throwing a dice, the possible outcome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then it's a numerical value. So now it is very inconvenient to represent the descriptive or non-numerical value to a numerical value for mathematical purpose, or mathematically you can explain it, and so that you can deal with those descriptive events easily. So it is very inconvenient mathematically to represent this descriptive or non-numerical value into a numerical value. As for example, suppose we tossing a coin. The possible outcome are head and tail. Now we assigned a value, a real value. Let's say capital X equal to some value, real value, variable X. Capital X equal to 0 means 0 head, and capital X equal to 1 means 1 head. Capital X equal to if you tossing a coin, two coin tossing problem, then capital X equal to 2 means 2 head, capital X equal to 1 means 1 head. So simply when you tossing a single coin, X equal to 1 represent head, X equal to 0 represent tail. So that variable capital X is called random variable. So what is random variable basically? A random variable which maps to a numeric or non-numeric value to a numerical numerical value. I mean a random variable which maps a original sample space which is numerical or non-numerical to a numerical sample space. Then that's called random variable. So what is random variable? So let's say one coin tossing problem, that is your head and tail, that one is your original sample space. That is your original sample space. Now it maps to the numerical, which it is numeric or non-numerical, but it is always numerical sample space. Let's say capital X, it is 1, and when tail it becomes 0, then that variable capital X is said to be a random variable. So what is its definition actually? A random variable is a variable whose value can be identified by the outcome of a random experiment. Value identified by the outcome of a random experiment. What does it mean actually? Let's say, so what is the definition? First I write it here. A random variable capital X is a real valued function, whose value are determined by the outcomes of an random experiment. Suppose tossing two coin, because toss two coin. Let's say capital X be a random variable which define the number of heads. Let's say which define the number of heads. That is your random variable. So what are the possible sample space when you tossing two coin? The possible sample space are head tail, tail head, and tail tail. And what is the values of X? In that case 0, here 1, here 1, here 0. Head, that means 2 head, so X is equal to 2. Here 1 head, so 1. Here 1 head, so 1. Here 2 tail, so this equal to 0. That means if you defined a capital X, if X equal to 0, that means okay, there are no heads. That means all are tail. If X equal to 1, okay, there is a 1 head, or X equal to 2, that means there is a 2 head. In that way, we can are defined a descriptive or non-numeric value to a numerical value. That is called a random variable. Now, random variable, two types. The random variable base are divided into two categories or two types. One is called discrete random variable, another one is called continuous random variable. What do you mean by discrete random variable? Discrete random variable means a random variable which takes only the finite number of discrete values. Then it's called discrete random variable. As for example, the marks obtained in an exam by a student, that's a discrete case because he get let's say in mathematics 90, physics let's say 91, or physics, chemistry some number 70, 80, in history, in geography, like this. So when the random variable assigns but contain the finite number of discrete values, then it's called discrete types of random variable. Whereas in continuous types of random variable, when the random variable takes the value within an interval, let's say in a particular day the temperature, let's say in a particular day temperature fluctuates between 2 to 5 degrees. So it takes any value which is lies between 2 to 5, or let's say the height of a man whose height 5 to in a area where the man height fluctuates between 5 to 6 feet. So within an interval, when we define, we can use continuous random variable. When we use the individual point value, then we can use the discrete types of random variable. In case of discrete types of random variable, we use summation notation. In case of continuous types of variable, we use integration. You know, the both are summation. Integration also means the summation, and summation that it also means the adding or sum. So in case of discrete types of random variable, we used this notation. In case of continuous types of random variable, we used integration. So these are the two types of random variable. I just put a very simple example of discrete types of random variable. In a cricket, you can see in a cricket game, let's say this x-axis represent over and y-axis represent run. Let's say first over, second over, third over, fourth over, fifth over, sixth, seventh, eighth, like this. So, but that is called discrete types of distribution. You know the run in 1 over, 2 over, 3 over, but from that kind of distribution, but from that figure, you can't calculate what was the run at 1.1 over. But in case of continuous types of distribution, the curves looks like that. So okay, now that is from 1 to 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say 1 to 8 over. So you can calculate 1.1 over 1.2 or 1.1 somewhere here. Let's say 1.1 over, what will be the run? That is your run. Let's say 5 to 6, 7.5 over. 7.5 over means what will be the run? Here will be the run. So here the random variable defines within 1 to 8, and here the random variable defines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like this. So these are the random variables of two types. Let's say one is discrete, another one is continuous. Now we discuss on distribution function. Distribution function, or in short you can write DF. So what is distribution function? Now a distribution function f is of a random variable capital X is a function of real variable small x, and is defined as f of small x equal to probability of minus infinite less than x less than equal to small x, where x lies between minus infinite to plus infinite. So what is distribution function actually? I mean, you know the axiomatic definition of probability theory. We know that if you know the samples point, if you know the random experiment, then probability of any event given by number of sample point in event space by number of sample point in sample space. I mean, P of A is equal to N of A by N of S. Now if I ask you suppose let's say consider Switzerland. We choose randomly one date, and my question is what will be the temperature on that day? Uh, uh, what will be the temperature on that day is fluctuate between 3 to 4 degree or 5 to 6 degree. In how do you calculate it? You can see here the distribution function definition, axiomatic definition of probability fail. In that case, we are using distribution function concept to calculate that kind of probability. Let's say the temperature fluctuates between 2 to 3 degree or temperature fluctuates between 5 to 6 degree, like this. So how to do this? So main definition was x is a real value, distribution function is a real variable, is a function of real variable small x. Real variable small x means real number always lies between minus infinite to plus infinite. So let's plot a diagram. Let's say that is your minus infinite to plus infinite, and we consider within that space the 2 points, let's say A and B, where B is greater than A. Now you can write minus infinity less than x less than equal to B, that is equal to minus infinite less than x less than equal to A, that particular portion plus that particular portion, you will get the whole. So union A less than x less than equal to B. Now from this diagram it is clear that this region and that region are mutually exclusive. I mean, there are no common point between them. So since they are mutually exclusive, so if you take the probability on both sides, so P of this is equal to, you can write P of this, then union becomes this. Already we know that if two events are mutually exclusive, then P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B, because P of A intersection B gives you phi or null. So therefore here we write f of B, that is equal to f of A plus here also P, if we put it here, plus P of A less than x less than equal to B. Therefore here I can write A less than x less than equal to B, that is equal to f of B minus f of A. So that is the probability of a random variable which is lies between A to B and is given by fb minus f of A. Hope it is clear. So that is our real line space, minus infinite to plus infinite. Here 2 point A and B. Now minus infinite to B can be written as minus infinite to A plus A to B. So these two are mutually exclusive. That means there are no common point between them. No. So if they are mutually exclusive, then their intersection gives you phi. That is why P of intersection B is equal to phi. So we will get P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B. So you can write this plus this. So then from the definition of distribution function, fx equal to this. So you can write from here f of A. If you put x equal to A, you will get here f of A. If you put it here, as usual, A less than x less than B. In left hand side less than equal to B. So if you put x equal to B, you will get f of B. Therefore P of A less than x less than equal to B, that is equal to fb minus f of A. Now we know that, so we get f of B minus f of A is equals to, you can write P of A less than x less than equal to B. Now probability of any event always greater than equal to 0. So that is why we know that probability of any event always greater equal to 0. So you can write f of B minus f of A is greater equal to 0. Since this is the probability of an event, so it must be greater than equal to 0. Since it is a greater than equal to 0, so you can write f of b is greater or equal to f of a whenever b is greater than equal to a. So from here one can conclude that the distribution function is monotonic increasing function. Is a monotonic increasing function. So you can see here b greater than a, f of b is also greater than equal to f of a. So from here one can conclude that the distribution function is a monotonic increasing function. You see here clearly, as we increase the x-axis, that is your a, that is your b, then it's also greater than, so that is your f of b and that is one f of a. So it gradually increases, as gradually increases the value of a, the functional value also increases. So you can say that distribution function is a monotonic increasing function. That is that one is the first property of a distribution function. It's a monotonic increasing function. The second one, the second property is you can say the second property is f of minus infinite is equal to 0, or you can say limit of f of x where x tends to minus infinite is gives you 0. So how to we prove it? Since x tends to minus infinite, so first of all, solution, let we choose first an event an, where an is defined as minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus n. Why I choose minus n? Here n is a natural number, 1, 2, 3 and so on. If you choose n equals to infinite, see here, then it goes up to minus infinite. So that means we will get f of minus infinite. If you put it here n tends to infinite, that if you take the probability on both sides, p of an equal to p of this, then p of minus n, p of minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus n, that is equal to f of n from the definition of distribution function. Now if you take n tends to infinite, then it will becomes f of minus infinite. So that is why I took an equal to this. An be any event of a random experiment of the x is a random variable. Now see here, if you put a1, so what is the value of a1? It becomes minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus 1. What is the value of a2? Minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus 2. What is the value of a3? Minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus 3, and dot dot dot, finally a infinity you will get minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus infinite. So from this it is very clear that these events a1, a2, a3 up to dot 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 a infinite is a decreasing sequence. See, the upper limit gradually decreases. Now if you take the intersection of all these events, then it gives you 5 null event, because infinite is a number, very large number. It's maybe 1 billion to the power 100 million. It's a very big number. Again 1000 billion to the power 2000 million. So both that becomes tends to infinite. So that is why if you take the intersection of all these events, then there are no common point between them. Then it becomes 5, because infinite is it's not unique. Let's say 10 is a unique number, but infinite is not a unique number. It's a very large number. So it can fluctuate. It's maybe 1000 to the power 1 billion to the power 1000 billion, let's say this kinds of number, or 2000 billion to the power 5000 billion. So then it's not unique. So that is why if you take the intersection of all the events, then this gives you 5. So from here it is clear that let an, then an is a decreasing sequence. An is a decreasing sequence. Since an is a decreasing sequence, so since a is a decreasing sequence, therefore limit, you can choose intersection of n from 1 to infinite a n, that is equal to limit of n tends to infinite a n, that gives you 5 or null event. So therefore if you take the probability p of n from 1 to infinite a n, that is equal to p of limit n tends to infinite a n, that is equal to p of 5. So here see, so if p of n, f of minus n, so if f of minus infinite equal to 0, we want to prove. How to do this? Say let's first limit extends to infinity fx equal to 0, we want to prove, or f of minus infinite is equal to 0. How to do this? Let an this equal to minus infinite less than x less than equal to minus n. So clearly from here that it is a decreasing sequence. After doing this, this intersection gives you phi. Then limit n tends to infinity an this equal to 0, and limit an minus infinite to minus n, that is equal to f of minus n, and putting the limit n tends to infinite, finally f of minus infinite gives you 0. In the same way, we can prove f of plus infinite is equal to 1. Let's do it. Let's say here plus infinite. Let's do it in another column. So property number 3, f of plus infinite is equal to 1, or you can put extends to infinite, this equals to 1. How do we prove it? Here in that case, since tends to infinite, so we just take the positive n. Here see, if n equal to 1, 2, 3 up to dot infinite, then it becomes minus infinite to plus infinite, the whole sequence. Then it is a increasing sequence. It's a increasing sequence because here 1, here 2, here 3, so it gradually increases. Since it is a gradually increasing sequence, if you take the union of those events, then it will gives you the whole sample space is. That means minus infinite to plus infinite, the whole sample space. If you take the union of those events, then here in place of phi you need to put it here s, and here n from 1 to infinite, then this gives you 1. So here plus n, here also plus n, take the limit f of plus infinite, then this plus infinite, then plus infinite, and then here value become 1. That's it. Same process, same technique, that in place of phi will get s. So f of plus infinite is equals to 1. So what we learned today? First we learned the random variable. What is our random variable? A random variable is a real first we learned a random variable capital X is a whose real valued function whose values are determined by the output of a random experiment. Second one, there are two types of random variable, discrete and continuous. What do you mean by discrete types of random variable? It is a random variable which contain discrete types of data or finite types of discrete data. And continuous random variable, a variable is said to be continuous types of random variable if it takes the value within an interval. Then distribution function, a distribution function is defined by a distribution function of a random variable capital X, which is a function of real variable small x, and defined as fx equal to first we will study random variable, then distribution function which is defined as fx equal to p of minus infinite less than x less than equal to small x, where x is lies between minus infinite to plus infinite. Next we study that already proved that distribution function is monotonic increasing function. F of minus infinite, the value becomes 0, and f of plus infinite value is 1. So hope you will enjoy this lecture. If you like, please share and subscribe. In my next lecture, I will discuss on, or we will learn on different kinds of probabilities, let's say discrete types and continuous types, and different kinds of distribution function, probability distribution function, expectation and variance. Thank you.